Welcome back to the Altar of Madness. I don't know if you checked out the video for the Raid Redemption, but now if you've seen that film and now you want to, hear about the Raid 2, which is called the Raid Berandal, I believe that's what how you say it. I believe it's Indonesian for, like scoundrel, badass, thug, something like that. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know why they gave it that name, but the Raid 2, you return with the main character. This is Rama. This takes place not too long after the first film. This deals with the consequences of the first film and what happens at the end. And basically, the main character, he has to go undercover. To do this, he has to be arrested, and basically, he's in prison. And in prison for, I think, 2 years, he has to befriend this mob boss's son, and stuff happens in prison. And he fights to protect this guy, and he basically tricks him, to get in with his family, and the mob boss is, the whole mob, and this one faction, this one family, to get into the inner circle, so to speak. So he's in prison, then he gets out. When he gets out, he meets up with the people, and he earns the trust through his actions in prison. And at the beginning of the movie, I didn't even mention this, but basically his brother gets killed. Yeah, his brother gets killed. So he's kind of doing it in a revenge sort of fashion, but not really. I mean, it's a larger scale than the first movie. This movie is 2.5 hours, and by larger scale, I mean, really, it really is. They're able to do so much more in this film than The Raid. As in The Raid, they had a low budget. You had hallways, and like I said, and in this film, you actually have, along with the martial arts that you would expect, you have these crazy, action sequences with cars and, stunts and stuff, and just, explosions. And I mean, it's a larger scale for sure. You can definitely tell the budget after the Raid Redemption did so well, they were able to do this. And there's more dialogue, obviously, for that 2.5 hours to build this story and get these scenes to come together for the ending of the film. So they have a lot of these different locations. They're able to do, instead of the first film where it was just one building pretty much, this film has all sorts of places where, people are talking, locations that you would not expect. I didn't expect, just crazy stuff for that dialogue. And larger scale fights too. Like, these fights are insane. Like, and I thought the Raid was, over the top, but the Raid 2, man, these fights are huge. There's a ton of people all over the place. I mean, there's like a mud fight, and there's like a, in the prison, and then there's this a lot of scenes where there's just a lot of people, and I'm like, wow. I wonder how long that took to accomplish, So there's larger scale fights, and and so you have to have a ton of characters. Well, there are a ton of extras. There are like different factions. I mean, you've got the cops, you've got the one mob family, and then another mob family. I mean, you've got the Japanese. It's just insane with all these guns and all this action. And then, the actual villains, I mean, where the first film, hey, there's like three. But this one, I really want to watch this again because I got lost. I got lost in this whole thing because you have all these different characters that play prominent roles, and I don't remember their names, honestly. I couldn't tell you. I mean, one after the other, you're introduced, and I'm to these characters and these villains. They're all bad, and I'm just like, okay, who was who again? I can't remember. Like, what was his purpose or what was his? It was pretty. It got pretty confusing. I mean, because there are a ton of people to remember. But along with that, though, there are some that are pretty memorable. Actually, really memorable characters besides the main character of the villains. And I would have to say of those villains that are the most memorable, the henchmen, I guess you want to call them that. You have two. You've got, well, first of all, Mad Dog. Mad Dog returns, okay? Mad Dog returns. But it's not him, because he's dead. Okay, I just ruined the first one if you didn't know, but I'm sure you do. So, Mad Dog, the guy who plays him anyways, returns as a different character. I mean, I could tell it was him, but whatever. And he's a completely different type of character. He's not a henchman. He's kind of a mob assassin. He's got this big machete and kind of a, loser. I don't know. I mean, he's a sad character. And savage, though. He's got some good fight sequences. I liked him for being in it, but I mean, because I loved Mad Dog, but this guy is different, and really, and if you watch the movie, it was kind of pointless. It seems like an afterthought that they just kind of threw him in. His character didn't play a huge role. It was kind of a side story thing. I mean, that really didn't amount to much. And if you watch, you'll know what I mean. But still, he was good. He was good. Amazing fights, as usual. Not as amazing, I think, as his fights in the raid as Mad Dog. I think that kind of set the bar, but it was good nonetheless. Okay, but the two other memorable characters that I wanted to talk about, Hammer Girl. Hammer Girl. That's I guess that's her name. That's what I call her. Man, she was amazing. Hammer Girl. She looks amazing. Look, she's got this white dress and she is got two hammers. And well, what does she do with those hammers? Man, it's brutal. It is brutal, but very memorable. It sticks out of my mind. Like, wow. Hammer Girl. Awesome. Really cool. Really cool. I'm obsessed with Hammer Girl now. I don't know why. I just am. She's pretty hot for a killer. But so then you have the baseball bat guy. He's got this bat. I don't know. He's got like a hoodie thing, and he throws a ball and actually hits it and kills some guy with it. And he's just beating the hell out of people with the bat. I mean, this guy is brutal too. And they both end up fighting, later on in the sequence against the main character. And that was awesome. That was really cool. The choreography again, like in this film, is really, really sweet. It does not disappoint. So, basically, the Raid 2 still has, the main character going into badass mode, and at the end there, he just goes, he starts taking everybody out. He kind of does go up into this building at the end, and kind of finds his way to the top. It's a smaller building, but I mean, he kind of does the same thing. But he just goes through lesser people, but he goes crazy and like he kills like yeah, he's awesome. He was really good. So they still have those really cool choreographed fights, and like the last guy he fights is really sweet, or next to last, or however you want to say it. I'm not gonna tell you exactly what happens at the end there, but really well done. Like I said, didn't disappoint in the choreographed fights that the first one had. It expanded in every area that they could with the higher budget. And this is a film that they wanted to do, and will probably do a third one, from what I hear, depending if this does well. But as it stands, yeah, like I said, it's 2.5 hours, so they packed a lot of stuff in there. They had to add more dialogue, more characters, more story. Not as basic as the original The Raid Redemption, the first one. They're able to do so much more with it, and this is also a film that I would watch again, and I can't wait to own it, actually. It's just a complete contrast when you compare the two films, but they do share similarities. Which one's better? I don't know. I mean, they're similar but different. I mean, I guess it depends on what you like. 2.5 hours of The Raid 2 seemed a bit long, but I want to watch it again. So I like bigger films, longer films. So I don't have a problem with that. And they just like I said, I kind of got confused with the characters, how many characters there were, and keeping track of the plot. But I can see a lot of people probably not watching it for the plot, just watching it for the amazing action sequences, and that's cool too. The Raid 2, Berandal, great film. One of my favorites so far of this year, and there are a lot more films to come, so stay tuned to the Altar of Madness. This was the review of The Raid 2.